I've done it again, guys. Got I guess a $500 puzzle. A 2005, I think, according to the VIN. Nissan Altima. And here's the reason it's a puzzle. There's no motor. Well, there is an engine, but it's one that wasn't in the car when I bought the car. I mean, the front wheels weren't even on it when I bought it, so I had to put those back in before I could even get it on a trailer to get it home. So yeah, I gotta pull this front subframe back out again so I can fix that rust spot down there. The only real rust spot on the subframe that rusted through. And then get everything kind of realigned back together because the guy that took it apart didn't quite know what he was doing. So, got my fingers crossed that all the bolts are there. But, I mean, it's got good tires on it. Body's in pretty decent shape. Interior's decently clean. I mean, considering it had a bunch of parts sitting in it, I'd say it's clean. Doesn't smell too funny. But yeah, and we'll see 100% on the miles, but supposedly it's got around 140,000 miles on it, so that's not too bad. Clear coat's peeling a little bit, but that's not a big deal. Not really a big issue for a car that's not worth a ton of money. So, but what I'm going to end up doing here is I got to get this engine on the stand so I can kind of make sure everything's all good before I bother putting it in. The guy that I bought the car from had bought the engine, replaced the engine that was in it that threw two rods. So, but we got some apparent oil leaking that I want to address before I bother to put it in there. So, might check compression and stuff like that on it yet. We'll see. I mean, the guy spent $800 on this motor. So, yeah. So. This is going to be a challenge, that's all I can say. first, let's just take this coolant hose off. And you probably can't see over there, but that one on the intake manifold, the inlet of the should be a coolant supply from the water pump to that. Oh, that's interesting. You may want to replace those. Looks like it was on there a while and isn't that happy. It looks like you got a 13 or so millimeter bolt there, or 12. Yep, 12. Let's see if the little electric impact will take it here. Probably not. Nope, I'm gonna grab a ratchet. All else fails, good old fashioned hand tools. Oh, that was tight. Oh. Alright, so there's that. There should be an O-ring on this end. That probably should get replaced. It kind of stinks. Yeah, no ring, it doesn't want to go up. Alright, put this bolt there. Custom pry bar here, and very carefully. Yep, there it is. There it is. Yep. Definitely be replacing that O-ring. Set this off to the side. Put that bolt back in. At least it looks like the coolant passages so far, these couple that I've looked in, look fairly clean. That's good. That doesn't look like I'm going to be able to take and get that turned over. I might have to pull this coolant flange off. Yeah, in fact, I am going to have to take that off. Well, I guess. More half inch here. Those might be. No, there's still 12. Get those. There's 4 of them. I'm not very tight. Should have a deep well for that. That'll work. Oh, those are very tight. This one's got one of those hose clamps, the threaded hose clamps rather than a spring clamp like most of the other ones. What it should technically be on here, which it doesn't really matter. Hose clamp's a hose clamp. Technically, the screw-on types, you can get a better seal out of those because, well, they can get tight. There goes a one tightness, one tension. This popped off here. And I'm really curious about is I kind of want to pop the oil pan off, at least the lower, and look at the internal condition of this motor. Make sure this motor's actually a good motor. I mean, if it's not, I'd feel bad because the guy that I bought the car from paid $800 for this motor, so I sure as heck hope it's a good motor, but we'll see. And big screwdriver. Oh, there's the thermostat. This one looks pretty good, but I need a new seal because, well, I'm taking it apart, might as well seal it. And looks like there's a a gasket over the whole thing anyways. Okay. So I'll have to get a new gasket for that and minor details. Wanted to reseal this thing for the most part anyways. That's why I don't mind having to take more stuff off. I do like that that's an aluminum housing rather than like on a Volkswagen. That would have been a plastic housing on the back there, which is fine, but they do crack. And then on a plastic housing, like on the Volkswagens, they have a little some of the cars I know, like in the Passats with like the 1.8 turbos, those usually have a dual sensored flange, even though they usually only ever have one sensor. They have a flange for 2 sensors in the back, and so they got a plug in one of them. And usually the dang thing, if it overheats or if somebody decides to break the plug, whether accident or purpose or whatever, then you end up with a coolant plug that pops out and you leak coolant everywhere. Alright, we're back. I'm gonna pop this valve cover off actually first before I even bother to flip this thing over. Just see what the top end here kind of looks like. So, I'm gonna pop all these the coils out here. The boots look good on them, so that's good. Oh, yeah. Great. I'm gonna check that one out. There's 1, there's 2. That one came out good. That one looks all good. 3 and 4. That one came out. What the heck's up with that one? Alright. Oh, I don't think it's broken. No, it shouldn't be. I think these things need to get cleaned out. They got some corrosion in them, but yeah, we'll see. That should be pretty easy to diagnose if it is goofy. And we'll quick thread those all back in their little respective holes. Kind of love the hoodie pocket for putting tools in, and I don't have a good place to set it when we're working on something. There. Like, what, 10 of them? 10 bolts to hold the valve on, 10 millimeter. I suppose it should be a good boy when I go to put this thing all back together and actually look up all the torque specs. I'm going to grab a magnet tray. I'm going to put that there. Pull these bolts out. And a goofy like shoulder bolt. Don't want to lose those. I think the biggest thing that got me nervous on this car here is I normally like trying to take things apart before I try putting them back together. In this case I'm having to put it together without ever taking the car apart really. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. Can I do it? I think so. Will it go easily? No idea. And there's a PCV or crankcase vent hose, however you want to call it, back here that I can take off before I get this valve cover all the way loose. Otherwise that'll be a pain in the butt. Well, clamps off of it now, so at least that'll should free that up. This actually looks like an aftermarket valve cover gasket in it. Come on. There it is. Alright. The inside of the cover looks nice and clean. Ooh. I'm liking what I'm seeing. The engine looks nice and clean inside. Really clean. That is good. Means this motor shouldn't have been abused. The cam lobes all got nice, looks like fairly even wear on them. Alright, let's get this all. We'll shove this valve cover back on just for the time being. We'll rotate this thing over and take a look at the bottom end. Get PCV back on. And we're not going to tighten these, we're just going to get them threaded in their respective holes to hold the thing on, so it's not going to won't leak a bunch around, and also just keeps dust out. I'm going to be taking it all back apart. Alright, those are all snugged down a little bit. Set this out of the way and let's flippy this thing over. Hopefully. Woohoo! Man, that really sucks though. It's hard to get these things balanced out. There it is. Whoop! Oh my ass. Those are some really kind of funky looking bolts. Yeah, really tall hex portion. They're 10 millimeters. Crack all these loose. I did check before, there isn't really any oil in it. Oil pan looks good. It was scraped around on the floor a little bit, but oil pan looks really good, besides the paint scraped off in a couple spots. So that's good. Because this little piece of metal here is 40 bucks. And that's from Rock Auto, so I don't even want to know what it would cost at the dealer. Or at the parts store even. So far it looks like a good motor. I mean, the old motors in the car had 2 holes in the block, about right here and right here. So, it's already better than that. I don't really want to turn these things too much. Something is on there. Alright, that should be a thing. There it is. Oops. Not terrible. There's the oil pump. Well, there's inside. There's a little bit of... there's no gunk in there. There's some old oil. Definitely got some dirty oil in it, but overall it looks pretty good, I'd say. I think we just need to do a good reseal on this thing and we should be good. Maybe figure out where this oil is coming from, which kind of looks like it really starts right in this region right here. Somewhere's in here. So it looks like, hold on. Gotta pull the tensioner off here. And that gets a little more access there. Pull this front pulley off. And then this upper oil pan That should get us access. This is what I thought was a little odd, is the oil filters right here on the front of the motor, which ends up being right down there. That's a little weird to me, but I mean, I guess there's definitely spots where it'd probably be inaccessible, so yeah. That's good. It looks like a good motor, so be ordering some seals and such like that, and we'll get this thing ready to go. I'll have to kind of figure out how I'm going to get this. Trying to think of an easier way to get the subframe out than how we put it back in, because that was just a pain. Alright, so what I'm doing here is I'm just going to rip this transmission out, because it's not connected to anything except for this one axle shaft, which I pulled that out. I got that popped out. It's just got a little C-clip on it. Strip clip, C-clip, whatever you want to call it. A little clip that holds on to the, it holds it together, or into the, oh, there's more fluid leaking out somewhere. Oh, coolant. That's what that is, okay. But yeah, because once it's disconnected from the motor, it's pretty much not held on by anything, so. Except for this one motor mount, but this car was taken apart wrong, so it's not, well, transmission mount, but it's not attached to the transmission mount because the car was taken apart wrong. So, I have to pull the subframe anyways to fix that, but I figure it's going to make it a heck of a lot easier to pull the transmission out, because then I don't have to have the front end of the car so high to get the subframe out. So, that's what the plan is, at least. I got this axle shaft popped out. Now I just gotta get this thing to come out of here and oh, come on. There it is. There, that's out. Now I can get bolt. Kind of what I'm worried about is I'm wondering how many bolts are just sitting on this thing that flew out as I brought this thing home, but I guess we'll figure that one out as we go. So yeah, I gotta drop that subframe. Got the subframe out. Fix the rust spot over there. This stud, subframe mounting stud, broke when he pulled it out. He probably didn't spray him with penetrating oil, and so he just kind of went after it and ended up just forcing it and broke it. We'll see. I think I'm going to replace the struts as the plan right now because they are really crusty, so I think what I'm going to end up doing is to make this even easier to slide out, so I can just slide it straight out the front of the car, is I'm going to pull the struts off the knuckle. That way it just makes everything shorter. So I'm going to leave them in the car for now and hang the calipers on them because that'll make that easier. Well, we made some progress. Didn't go quite as smoothly as I thought, but still went better than putting it back in to get the car here. So yeah. I got the subframe pretty much out of the car. I gotta take and pull the jack out from underneath it to get it all the way out, but there, I just left the struts in there since I'm thinking I'm probably just gonna replace them. But yeah, on these it's just 4 bolts that come down from the unibody that bolt through you got a nut on the bottom side of the subframe in the front, so not too bad. Yeah, irritated me a little bit. The guy that was working on this car before me that helped me put the subframe back in, he I don't know how well this will focus, but You can kind of see how those threads are flattened out. He cross-threaded the nuts that I had to buy so we can get the subframe mounted in there, since he lost half of them. Cross-threaded one of them, the one in the back here that he did. I did the other side. Not my side. That same exact nut was just fine. So I don't know. But yeah, got it most of the way out. The struts came off all right, but brought the car up another 2 notches on the jack stands too. But so yeah, looks like I'm gonna have to put a new radiator in it too, because this thing is pretty beat up down there, and most of that was done before I got to the car. So oh well. Yeah. So I guess that's probably all it's gonna be for this video. Hopefully not too long here. I'll get another video going. The next part of this project. Gotta get this subframe fixed. Probably put a new input, since I got the transmission. I'll put a new input shaft seal on the transmission. Otherwise, my luck, it'd be leaking when I put it all back together and I have a tranny leak. Reseal this thing so it's not leaking, and then slap it all back together. I mean, the car was started wrong, so the project was started wrong, so I'm gonna have to kind of do it wrong, putting it back together. I think what I'm thinking now is I'm gonna fix the subframe, get that all ready to go, shove it back in the car, then probably put the transmission back in. I don't know. I may put the transmission, attach the transmission and motor together and try to stab them together. Otherwise, I think what I'm going to have to do is probably put the transmission in, then grab the motor, get the motor in, and reconnect everything. Is probably what's going to have to happen. But, yeah. Well, you made it this far. Thanks for watching. No idea how long this is going to take, but hopefully not too long here. So it'll probably be at least a couple more parts of this little build here. Yeah. Enjoy the video. Go ahead, feel free to like it. Comment if you got a question, or if anybody's done something like this before. I've never worked on a Nissan before. Comment any suggestions you got, or tips if you've worked on one of these before, or like I said, questions. Yeah. Subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks for watching.